All right. All right. All right. It is, let me adjust this for you real quick. It is, what's the time? 11 on the dot. Just like I always like to say, it's 11 o'clock is the new 1995, and your opinions here will not get you cancelled. You will have to forgive the size of my voice this evening. I am in a more um, pensive, more somber, more sober state of mind this evening as I navigate issues that touch a little too closely to home for my liking. So I contemplate again. This week seems like one of those where I have to like just get in front of camera despite how I'm feeling because I was contemplating possibly not jumping on here today. But here we are. I'm committed to this. I'm committed to the conversation. I'm committed to the sharing. I'm committed to the possible growth that um, is in it for me. I'm talking to the wrong. Okay, hi. I'm a little woozy. Tuesday did keep me down after Monday, but not even in a bad way. It's more in a I'm growing type of way. But we're forgiving ourselves, isn't it? Building off from yesterday's conversation, I wrote you guys some beautiful notes because I was thinking through some stuff, and I thought it would be great to share this with you. Um, so yeah, you know what I mean. Not everybody's your hater, because of that whole superstar complex. That's what I'm gonna call it, a superstar complex that we have now since the advent of TikTok. And I'm not hating on TikTok. I'm just saying social media in general, and that's the popular one right now. But in essence, what I'm saying is everyone believes themselves such an important um, person or being that their opinion is so good that people are hating on them, even when they're being given sound advice. Right? Everything, take it with a pinch of salt. Look at me doing almost as if I'm. This isn't the Bible. This is my. By the way, this is my journal. This is where I keep all my thoughts. Where I keep all my noodling and all of that kind of stuff. It's all just in here. So I thought, let me keep this one and share it with you guys. This is what I have today. It's what I'm feeling. It's discomfort in growth. Fall in love with that. Fall in love with the discomfort of growth, right? For you to, this is one of my favorite analogies. For you to grow muscle, you need to tear muscle, and it needs to hurt and get swollen. So we call it getting swole, okay? It's like that as well in life. You need to go through really, really challenging things in order to have a sort of capacity to solve really, really challenging problems. So get comfortable. You know, where you want to be in life is challenging if you're a dreamer like me, if you're enthusiastic about your future like me, the sorts of things that you dream up are nearly impossible. You know, they're nearly humanly impossible. But either way, if you get comfortable with the pain of growth and get comfortable in that discomfort, um, much falls into place most of the time. And the beautiful thing about this whole falling in love with discomfort is it puts you in a situation where you appreciate your weaknesses. I have come to appreciate my weaknesses so much because they point towards my greatness. The gaps that exist in me, right? Especially the ones that make me so uncomfortable. Those gaps usually draw me towards a greater self. It's like a clear signal that's screaming, hey, look, you're not exactly where you're supposed to be. You know, you're not going to the parts of yourself that you should overcome, right? Like, that's what I said here. And it points you towards the person that you need to be in order to be in purpose. Your weaknesses do this. Like for me, um, it was communicating. Communicating was always so difficult for me. I was always the shy kid in the corner who um, had little to nothing to say when asked. I had all these thoughts in my head, but refused to share them. That's me. That's who I am. That's who I was. But finding myself in situations where I was, it was incumbent on me to to be able to communicate my ideas really well in order to do really well in certain situations. For instance, in sales, right? I worked in sales for a little bit, and because the money was a beautiful motivator for me, I had to learn how to communicate, and I had to learn it very quickly, extremely quickly when I was working as a salesperson. I had to learn how to quickly engage people and keep them engaged, and then using or yes, using that engagement in order to close the sale, right? So don't neglect your weaknesses. Don't despise your weaknesses, because these weaknesses point you towards the progress that you should be making most times. Most times these are the ones that give you the direction that you need. And do that. Work on your weaknesses diligently, right? But also make sure you work on these weaknesses lovingly, lovingly. Be loving towards yourself. That one stops me in my tracks a little bit because of how hard I am on myself, or at least how hard I believe I am on myself. And most most people who feel a sense or drawing towards a greater purpose, a greater existence, most people who feel a drawing towards these things tend to be stretched. Their current self tends to be stretched so much in an attempt to accommodate a bigger self from a from a future after future development. You're trying to take that future self and all the future understanding that this future self has, and all the future experiences, and how much bigger and greater a person you are, and fit it into this not yet expended version of yourself. And if you are complacent with your weaknesses and don't respect them and don't appreciate them, you'll find yourself striving, over striving, striving too hard to fit that future self into who you are now, instead of expanding and feeling the discomfort today and letting it expand the parts of you that historically have not been fit enough to take on, to address the issue of pride as it relates to this specific issue, weaknesses, right? Humility in this fact, even when it is to some extent successful, it is viable. Let's put it that way. I know that the nature, right, the deceptive nature of pride hit me in the face today. I've lived a lot to get to this point. You should be proud of that, really. You should be proud of the effort. You should be proud of, of the commitment, the discipline. You should be proud of where I found some wisdom today in my thinking. Because here's the difference between being proud and being prideful. All of us, every single one of us, has pride. We're narcissistic, self-centered. It's true, right? We are so forgiving to our own faults, almost to a fault. Almost to a fault. It's like if they're doing something that is socially unacceptable, then we will revile them and speak ill of them. But if we do something that can be considered as socially unacceptable, we have a little bit more grace for ourselves than we do for others. And it is this deluding of self, right? That delusion of self. That's the being prideful. It's it's those that are aware of the fact that they are proud, right? Those are able to come from more of a place of um, recognition. And then there are those who are so far deluded from their pride or by their pride that they are under the impression that there isn't a speck of pride. And this blindness to this pride that they have, right? Because wanting the desire to be alive in itself, that it's called the pride of life for a reason. That very desire speaks to the self-serving, self-preserving nature of the human nature in itself, right? And so when you are so deluded and so blind to your own pride, right? You are so far removed from just how dangerous you are. You're so full of pride, you're so prideful that it has become your nature, that you do not even recognize it as a pride of sorts, right? And that is a dangerous place to be so deluded um, and prideful that you are ignorant to your own weaknesses and quick to um, highlight those of others, right? There's a danger there. There's a serious danger there. And I thought I would swim in that thought soup for a little bit while you are here with me. This has gone on quite extensively long, actually, but that's what I thought I would share with you today. Appreciate your weaknesses, at times, even celebrate them, because they point you towards a self that you are not yet today, but you definitely can be if you work on your weaknesses diligently, pay your dues. You can be just as great as you imagined. Those are the thoughts that I had to share for tonight. And look, Tuesday, Monday, and Tuesday so far have been standard life. Challenging and all of that, but let's hope Wednesday brings some relief and time for the weekend. So, uh, just as I said yesterday, don't let Tuesday keep you down. Just let Wednesday keep you going tomorrow. All right. Catch you in the next one.